What is up, YouTube? I'm Alex Wink Michael, and here's what I have for you today. We're going to talk about GameStop. So, GameStop's in the news again. They've been in the news consistently for the past 6 to 8 months for different, various reasons. It hasn't been positive lately. So, what's going on with GameStop? So, we're going to talk about GameStop, the company, very briefly, summarization. So why are they in the news recently? So they've recently just announced that they are going to stop trying to seek a buyer for the company. So what does that mean? Well, that is not good. That means they couldn't find anybody to buy their company for what they wanted. And I think that it kind of has a greater meaning overall, meaning that the brick and mortar physical retail business for gaming is dying. And it's probably not going to be resurrected anytime soon. There's probably not going to be a resurgence of people wanting to go to a brick and mortar game store. And I'm going to touch on a few reasons why in this video. So why is the brick and mortar side of gaming going away? Well, obviously it's the convenience of digital. And I think everybody knows that. I think everybody that is in this industry or plays games is starting to see that when you have Steam and now the Epic Games Store, Discord now has their own game store. Every one of these decently sized platforms are having their own game stores. You're going to see it just get worse and worse for brick and mortar. The convenience level is just not there. And we'll touch on a little bit of why GameStop has kind of gotten to this path and why they've gotten to where they're at now. We'll start kind of with the last 6 to 8 months. So one good positive thing, we'll start with that, is that they were able to sell their mobile business somehow. I have no idea how they sold it, but they got into mobile briefly. You may not have even known that when you've gone into your local GameStop. I think they were partnered with Cricket. It was a disaster. The employees hated it. It was a pain to set up. Somehow, they sold that thing for $700 million. So somebody absolutely got rooked on that deal. I don't know who bought it. I honestly didn't look it up, don't care to, but somebody got rooked on that $700 million deal. So that is one good shining beacon for GameStop, but the rest, not so good. So I would say probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I'm going to link all these articles or reference them down in the description so you can kind of check out what I'm talking about. But read an article on Motley Fool, which, to briefly touch on Motley Fool, is an awesome investment website. If you have any, they're awesome. I think it's www.thefool.com or just fool.com, excuse me. It's an awesome website, and I'm going to put a link to this article down below. But basically what they were talking about is the number one source of margin, profit margin revenue. Maybe not revenue, not top-line revenue, but profit margin for sure is GameStop's pre-owned sales program. They make a ton of money. That's that program where when you take your brand new release that's probably 30 days old and they give you $4 for it and then they sell it for, $50. That's that program. They make a ton of money on that program. But for some reason, there has been a very steep decline in that program. And no one really can, explain why. Now, Motley Fool does a good job of breaking it down. All of that data came from GameStop itself on their quarterly earnings calls. Their pre-owned sales are down. And they are scrambling because this is a big source of dollars, cash dollars for the company. This is an interesting thing. This has been on the decline for probably a year, roughly. That is definitely something to keep your eyes on. And then they decided they were going to sell the company. They're still looking for a CEO. They couldn't sell the company, which is a big problem. And I'm going to bring up a graph now, and I'm going to show you the data on what exactly went wrong here. So right here, you're going to see we have a chart on Market Watch. This is basically their shares, what they're trading for currently. This is at $11.25. Now, what's interesting is they are all over the place on the daily trade. Now, if we let's pull up a 6-month graph, and you kind of start to see this thing starts to get worse with a massive plummet right here. So, I mean, you're talking at a top line of 15. This stock used to be, if I'm not mistaken, let's pull this up. Let's pull up the 3-year graph. This stock used to be, that's what I was thinking, a $30, $32 a share stock, and it's down to $11. This is a big-time issue for GameStop. And I'm also going to show you here on Market Watch, this is another article I'll link. It's a great website for especially entertainment, gaming, stocks, and things like that. Basically, and this is published by Market Watch. They're saying GameStop stock plunges, company looking for a buyer, still searching for a CEO. They stopped looking for a buyer, They plunged 22% when they announced that they're not looking for a buyer. That is a massive plunge. The reality is no one's going to buy this currently right now in its state. But I will tell you, if you are interested in stocks, I hesitantly say this is one to watch because it's going to go lower probably. The holiday season's over. They have nothing to look forward to in the foreseeable future. This thing's going to go down a little bit further. I just don't know when. I'm not going to. It's definitely not on my watch list because I tend to, funnily enough, stay away from gaming stocks and entertainment stocks and stuff like that because it's too volatile. By the time you get in, it's too late. You know, the big thing's already popped off. It's kind of over. So I don't know. We'll see, but I'll definitely link those in the description below. But I just wanted to kind of show you that because it just goes to show you the state that the company is in. And it's kind of a sad state because, you know, a lot of jobs are on the rent line. They have several hundred stores across the country and across the world, you know, the globe. And when things like that happen, it's definitely not good. But I can tell you what I think a little bit. Obviously, we talked about the digitization of the industry, everything going digital. That's an obvious big part of it. But GameStop has another problem that I think is underlying, and they have a culture problem as a company. And this is something I really am big on, is a culture. You have to instill a positive culture or have some type of mission statement as a company that you can get your employees to buy into. And they just don't have it. They don't have it right now. But I will give them credit. They are very creative. Their leadership team has been very creative over the years on trying to grow and diversify revenue. I mean, you look at the discount program, they instilled their rewards program where you get rewards points based on purchases. That's an incredibly good program that they really didn't have to put in, but they did. And the points are actually worth it. They're worth real value. You get points for every purchase, and then you can use them to save money on games, get gift cards, all kinds of good stuff. So that, you know, kudos to them for that. They also have done some things that were terrible failures. The mobile sector, for one. You may not know about this, but I think it was only 2 months. They had a pre-owned program where you could buy a game, sign up for this rental type agreement for like 6 months. So you get a pre-owned game, you pay 60 or 50 bucks, then you can just keep exchanging that game for other games. They kind of had that deal going. They stopped it. I swear it was like 60 days. I'm telling you, it was a disaster. Because what it did was people would just exchange their pre-owned game for the newest release they could. And what's the one pre-owned commodity that's going to sell? The new releases. Because when somebody's mom goes in there, or dad, or family member and wants to buy someone a gift, and the GameStop employee says, well, hey, I have one for $60, but I can give you one for $50, they're going to say, yeah, just give me the $50 one. I don't care. It's for, Junior. But then they're like, well, I don't have that one because so-and-so checked it out. And so now they have no inventory for the stuff that people want. So that program got killed quickly. What a disaster that was. But I will say they're not afraid to try new things. The one thing that I'll kind of touch on that may be a good thing for them is they already have a really good online storefront. That has some value. I think they really need to focus on 2019 and expanding their online storefront and footprint. They have to get more. And they kind of started to do a little bit, and then I think they tapered off. They also need to really focus on ThinkGeek. I don't know if subscription boxes are lucrative, but they're going to have to grow that sector of their business. And it was smart for them to get that business because it made the brick and mortar store more lucrative. It made you want to go a little more. Now, I don't know. If you've been into a GameStop, you can see they're merchandised kind of poorly. They don't have a lot of good stuff from ThinkGeek. I don't know how much of the stuff they're selling. I feel like every time I go in there, they got statues on sale, and they're always clearanced out because they're having a hard time selling them. That stuff's difficult to sell. They're all really niche items, but if you can sell them online or put subscription boxes together, I think they could be onto something. And those are a couple ways that I think they should really try to expand their business in 2019 and get out of this hole that they're in. They're probably going to have to close some stores. Reality is, I can't see 2019 going by with GameStop closing no stores. I just can't see it. I hope that I'm wrong, but I really think they're probably going to shutter some of their stores. There's just no way around it. But the most important thing that they have to fix is their culture. They have got to do something about it. I'll tell you, every time you go in to a GameStop, and granted, I will put a disclaimer here. My sample size is small. I have friends and family all over the country. I've been to probably 10 to 12 GameStops, but I do see a pattern. The pattern is people are disgruntled. There's a little bit of a level of arrogance in there. They're working at the game store. To a lot of people that play games as their hobby, that's kind of the mecca. That's kind of the awesome thing, you know, like, hey, I worked at the game store now. I get to talk about games. I'm the expert. There's a level of arrogance there, I feel like. But there's also a huge level of disgruntlement. I think they changed all their managers from salary to hourly, which I'm pretty sure has upset them probably, at least in some capacity. I don't know. Maybe not, because now they actually get overtime, which I'm sure that's closely monitored. The one good thing about their brick and mortar store is it is a stupidly low overhead if you're an investor. Now, if you're an employee, that's not good because you're not getting paid anything to do this. But with that being said, I just really think that they're going to have to coach, develop, train. They're going to have to come up with a mission statement. They've got to get their employees to buy in. They're going to have to compensate their employees more fairly. I hate to say it, but they're going to have to invest substantial resources into their employee base. And I really hope that they do that, because right now it's not good, because all that they really look at, I feel like, is their weekly numbers. How many GPGs did you get? How many pre-orders did you get? You know, how many edge cards did you open? Or I say edge card because I came from EB Games, but you know what I mean, the GameStop discount cards. And which is even funnier because they don't really push credit cards like they should. And that's the one thing they really should push, is because that builds brand loyalty. You got to push the credit cards. And I haven't had anybody push a credit card there on me in at least a year. So that needs to be another huge focus to build brand loyalty. With that being said, I think that they have a lot of work to do in 2019. I hope that they do it. I like GameStop for the most part. I don't like how they treat their employees, but I hope that that changes. I really hope that they can get this thing together in 2019 and get this ship righted. And if not, we're going to have to, you know, figure something else out. Guys, I really appreciate you all taking the time to check out this video. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot of links in the description below, kind of referencing certain articles and things like that with GameStop. Apologize for the low lighting, kind of just trying out something new here. You know, I'm going to try to get that worked on. I need to get a dimmer switch and whatnot, but please like and subscribe. I would love that. Come check out my next videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one.